All right, so we talked about Peter Attia's Outlive on chapter 11 on exercise, and then chapter 12, zone 2, and that got me into a little conversation about movement and how I believe that even if you do chores or start doing extra chores, maybe you already do a certain level of chores, but maybe you decide to hang your clothes instead of putting them in the dryer, or going up and down the stairs several times to lubricate the joints in your knees, or there could be a real lot of different things that you could do. Good morning. To get activity done and just get in that habit. So I think this shows up in my business life. And at one time, when I was a very young general manager for a heating and air conditioning company, I do know that we had a service department that was severely underperforming, and they were not hitting the goals. Profitability, I did work for a pretty decent sized corporation at the time, so of course there was a financial goal to achieve. Morning again. And the shop was not hitting their goals when I got there, and it became pretty quickly apparent to me that we weren't hitting our goals because every week there seemed to be a different regional manager who had a different agenda to move their agenda forward. So we had IAQ managers looking for IAQ sales. We had general managers at the regional level looking for financial performance. We had sales managers looking for tech lead turnovers. It just seemed like every week I was being asked to present to the service team a different initiative that, and I think I'm in zone 2. I think that's what I'm struggling to have the conversation a little bit. So this is actually really good. I didn't realize this was going to be a side benefit. But every week, these technicians had to listen to me stand up there and talk about some new initiative. And this went on for probably about a month and a half, and we weren't getting any traction. So I took a stand, you could say, to ignore, and I don't know how to say this because I didn't ignore my bosses. I heard what they were saying. I knew what their initiatives were. I get what they wanted. The problem is we didn't even have a foundation set down. So we literally went to square one, and they used to have this card that you could hold in your hand that had a checklist of all the things that we were going to do on a maintenance. I want to say it was a 26-point checklist. This is quite some time ago. 15 years, about 15 years ago, maybe. And one of the complaints that I would hear, or feedback that I would get, is that it was hard to help a customer on a maintenance call. And so what we did is we literally practiced our greeting. You know, when you knock on the door and the customer says, "Oh, thank God you're here," or "Hi, the air conditioner's out back," or "Hello, the furnace is downstairs in the basement. these are, typical. And, what I found is that we weren't using a greet step. We were going down to the bottom of the stairs to go talk to the equipment, not the customer. So it was a way to engage them, very simple. I literally had them hold the card and read off it and say, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, today I'm here to take care of your tune-up, and the things that we're going to check are, and then go down to 26 points and read them. And at first they looked at me like I had 5 heads because they thought it would take forever. It turned out in practice, it took about 40 seconds to go through that greeting. And then we practiced a lot on coming back to the customer with that same checklist and reviewing our findings based off that checklist. And it was a simple habit that we created that paid very good dividends, because we were able to engage the customer and get them engaged in the conversation. We're able to set expectations as we got on at the site, residential, so it was all people's homes. And then when we would come back after and review that same list, the customers were paying attention. So, hoping for a good report card. The bottom line isn't the process for running a maintenance call. That's not the point here. The point is that we had to start very, very basic to start getting good results and accumulate results. And what I did was we agreed as a team internally that we were going to primarily focus, good morning, on this one area until we made it a habit. And we didn't have to talk about it anymore because it was just expected that that's what would happen on every call. So for me, the movement and the talk about the exercise and just getting in movement even before walking is super important, because you got to lay a foundation. And if you're not moving, even in your own home, then it's going to be more of a challenge. You can't just get up and walk a mile or walk 2 miles every morning when you're coming from a place where you've been sitting or even sleeping in a lazy boy. I don't even know what I'm saying, but it's just I'm getting into that zone too, struggling to hold the conversation. So that's my point, is that we need to start with building habits that create an identity of being a healthy person and being thankful and grateful for the gift of life. So that starts with movement. So just to piggyback on what I was saying yesterday, start with movement. Do a lot of movement. And that's all for today. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and thank you.